Welcome to our channel, the darkest corner of YouTube, where we delve into the most chilling and mysterious stories from around the world. Tonight we're taking you on a journey into the heart of fear itself. Today we bring you 3 spine-tingling tales of unexplained lights in deserted alleyways. Are you brave enough to venture into the unknown? Make sure to turn off the lights, sit back, and prepare to be scared. The darkness is listening. Imagine, if you will, a young woman named Sarah. Picture her walking home alone late one night. The city streets, normally bustling with life, are eerily deserted tonight. Streetlights flicker, casting long, dancing shadows that seem to writhe and twist with each passing gust of wind. Sarah clutches her purse tightly, her heart pounding in her chest. She just wants to get home. As she rounds a corner onto a particularly dark and narrow alleyway, a cold shiver runs down her spine. The air grows heavy, thick with a sense of dread she can't quite place. It's then that she sees it. A faint glow emanating from the far end of the alley. At first she dismisses it as a trick of the light, but as she takes a hesitant step forward, the glow intensifies. It's an unnatural light, a pale, sickly yellow that seems to pulse faintly. Fear claws at the edges of her mind. What if it's someone dangerous lurking in the shadows? What if it's something far worse? Her instincts scream at her to turn back, to run, but a morbid curiosity compels her forward. She tells herself it's probably just a stray cat or a discarded lantern, anything to rationalize the growing terror that threatens to consume her. With each step closer, the light grows brighter, illuminating the grimy brick walls of the alleyway with its unnerving glow. Strange shadows dance at the periphery of the light, taking on grotesque and menacing shapes that send shivers down her spine. The air grows colder, biting at her exposed skin like tiny, icy claws. She can feel her heart pounding in her chest, a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Suddenly the light flickers, and for a brief moment it illuminates the figure standing directly beneath it. Sarah's breath catches in her throat, her blood turning to ice in her veins. It's a tall, slender figure draped in what appears to be a long, flowing cloak. Its face, if it even has one, is shrouded in darkness, but Sarah can feel its presence, cold and malevolent, boring into her very soul. Terror, raw and consuming, takes hold. She turns to flee, her legs heavy and unresponsive. But the figure moves with an inhuman speed. It takes a step towards her and the light flares, momentarily blinding her. A scream, choked and desperate, tears its way from her throat as she stumbles backward, her hand desperately searching for something, anything, to defend herself. But when she opens her eyes again, the alley is empty. The light is gone, vanished without a trace. Only the echo of her own terror remains, a haunting reminder of the night she came face to face with the unknown. This next story takes us to the outskirts of a small, sleepy town, where a group of friends, fueled by youthful curiosity and a thirst for adventure, decide to explore a long-abandoned part of town. They've heard the stories, whispered in hushed tones around campfires and late-night sleepovers. Tales of strange lights, unexplained noises, and a palpable sense of dread that permeates the air. The friends, eager to prove their bravery and perhaps catch a glimpse of the supernatural, gather on a Friday night, armed with flashlights, a video camera, and a sense of nervous excitement. As they venture deeper into the abandoned district, the familiar sights and sounds of their town fade away, replaced by an unsettling silence broken only by the distant barking of a dog. They reach the entrance to an alleyway, its mouth choked with overgrown weeds and the remnants of forgotten lives. The air grows noticeably colder and a sense of foreboding washes over them. One of the friends, a boy named Jake, shines his flashlight down the length of the alleyway, the beam cutting through the thick darkness like a knife. At the far end, seemingly suspended in midair, is a sphere of light. It pulsates with an eerie, otherworldly glow, casting long, distorted shadows that dance and writhe on the walls. The friends are mesmerized, their initial fear giving way to a sense of awe and wonder. One of the girls, Emily, reaches for her camera, her finger hovering over the record button. "This is going to be amazing," she whispers, her voice barely audible above the sudden rush of adrenaline. They inch closer, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. The sphere of light, as if sensing their approach, begins to pulse more rapidly, its light intensifying. As they draw within a few feet of the orb, it suddenly darts towards them, a streak of blinding light that momentarily paralyzes them with fear. They shield their eyes instinctively, their hearts pounding in their chests. When they dare to look again, the orb is gone, vanished as quickly as it appeared. The silence that follows is deafening. The friends exchange nervous glances, their faces pale in the moonlight. The air, once filled with a sense of adventure, is now thick with a primal fear that sends shivers down their spines. Jake, his voice trembling, breaks the silence. "Did you see that?" he stammers, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. It moved. It actually moved. The other friends, still shaken from the encounter, can only nod in agreement. They decide to leave, their earlier bravado replaced with a newfound respect for the unknown. As they make their way out of the abandoned district, they can't shake the feeling that they're being watched, their every move scrutinized by unseen eyes. Chapter 3. The Night Watchman's Vigil. Our final tale takes us to the heart of the city, where a grizzled night watchman named Old Man finds himself grappling with a nightly mystery. Every night, like clockwork, at precisely 2:37 a.m., a strange light appears in a deserted alleyway across from his post. It's a peculiar, almost hypnotic light, a swirling vortex of colors that seems to pulsate in sync with his own heartbeat. At first he dismissed it as a trick of the aging streetlights, a figment of his tired mind. But night after night, there it was, that swirling mass of light, beckoning him, taunting him with its enigmatic presence. He tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was a faulty neon sign from a nearby building, its reflection distorted by the grimy puddles that collected in the alley after a rain. Or perhaps it was just the city itself, breathing, exhaling its strange and wondrous energy into the night. But deep down, a primal fear gnawed at him, whispering that this was something different, something other. He'd heard the stories, the hushed whispers of unexplained phenomena, of things that lurked in the shadows waiting for the unsuspecting to cross their path. He'd always scoffed at such tales, dismissing them as the ramblings of fools and dreamers. Now, staring into that swirling abyss of light, he wasn't so sure. One particularly chilly night, curiosity got the better of him. Armed with nothing but his trusty flashlight and a growing sense of unease, he slowly made his way towards the alleyway. Each step was hesitant, measured, as if he were wading through a pool of his own fear. The closer he got, the more intense the light became, its swirling colors shifting and morphing like a kaleidoscope gone mad. He reached the mouth of the alleyway, his heart pounding in his chest, a drumbeat against the silence of the night. The air grew heavy, thick with a strange metallic tang that made his eyes water. He shone his flashlight down the length of the alley, but the beam seemed to be swallowed by the swirling vortex of light. It was as if the alley itself was a gateway to somewhere else, somewhere beyond the realm of his understanding. As he stood there, frozen in place by a mixture of fear and morbid fascination, he heard it, a low, guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the very air itself. It was a sound that spoke of ancient hunger, of a power that lay dormant, waiting to be unleashed. He knew then, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that he had made a mistake. Turning on his heel, he ran, his flashlight bouncing wildly in his trembling hand, casting grotesque shadows that danced and mocked his terror. He didn't stop running until he reached the relative safety of his post, his lungs burning, his legs screaming for respite. From that night forward, he avoided the alleyway, his nightly rounds taking him on a wide berth around the block. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more terrifying tales. The next time you find yourself walking alone at night, remember these tales. Pay attention to the shadows, listen to the whispers of the wind. You never know what might be lurking just beyond the reach of the light. Share your own scary experiences in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and stay scared.